Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakal Kodash. I want to give double honor to the elders, to the apostles of Great Millstone that rule well. And I want to say peace and salutations to the elect of the nation of Israel, listening in truth and sincerity, trying their best in this place in captivity to follow the Lord's statutes and commandments. To you all, I like to say Shalom. It's your brother Ma'ak Allah coming to you again from the gate to the city. And Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to the flock of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and the faithful and sincere Akim and Akwad. Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give an apology to Yahweh Bashim, not only to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, but again to the flock that I did miss last week. You know, things have been going on. Things where, you know, where Jake is stuck between a rock and a hard place, you know, on all fronts. But, you know, we're not here to complain about it. We're not here to cry about it. We understand that all things, good or bad, good or evil, come from Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So, Lord willing, you know, I keep my eye on the light at the end of the tunnel, right? Because that's what's really most important. And that's the thing. Because we are in the script. We are all in the script. We're all playing a part in the movie. Now, if you're watching a movie and you see the main character doesn't go through any trials or tribulations, or doesn't have any problems, just eases through the movie without any difficult circumstances, it's not going to be an entertaining movie. It's not going to be realistic. You're not going to be able to relate to the characters at all, right? This is why when we read the scriptures, we see the men of the Lord, you know, they've all had their trials and tribulation, right? They all had to overcome something, but what did they do? They kept their eyes on the prize, which is Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, to overcome that. They kept focused on the light at the end of the tunnel. And that's the same thing we got to do. The things that are written of old are written for our learning, roughly paraphrasing. All right? But let me jump to it real quick. Slugger first. It's not good, low key. But shit might be fucking important. The book of 1 Peter, chapter 4, starting at verse 12. Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you. When bad things happen, when you're going through a trial, you can't be like, oh, this is strange. This is part of the plot. This is part of the movie, right? So what are you as your character going to do? Are you going to give up hope, give up faith, you know, stop believing, you know? Or are you going to try to put your trust and your faith into your own hands and try to get out the situation yourself? Or are you going to lean upon Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man? We have a foundation for everything, man. The way Yahweh Bashim Yahushai for that. 1 Peter 4:13. But rejoice, inasmuch as ye are partakers of Mashiach's sufferings, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy. Right? Because at the end of the movie, you know, we're nearing the climax. All right? All hell's about to break loose. You know, on all fronts, all right? If you think you're having a rough time now, if you think you had a bad life, if you think shit is bad now, you haven't seen nothing yet, man. I remember on the highways and byways, a dude came out, or a passerby walked by, started, I think he scoffed. But I remember he had like a desert storm hat on, and he was like, he served in the war. I remember telling that man, yo, you really haven't seen war, nigga. Nobody has seen war, no matter what you lived through. You can say, oh, I lived through World War II, I served in World War II. I served in Vietnam. I served in Desert Storm. I was deployed to Iraq. You really haven't seen nothing yet to compared to what's coming, man. All right. Even all that shit you seen back then, it can't compare to what's about to happen now, man. Scripture says a time like never before, man. All right. So if it's a time like never before, there's no timeline, there's no event that you could compare it to try to prepare for it, man. You know, because people been through earthquakes, and they see, okay, this is how strong they usually are. This is how strong they could get. So we'll build buildings complying with code that'll help sustain when an earthquake comes, so it doesn't shake the building down. See, you can prepare for that because you've seen earthquakes before. You've never seen the earth reel to and fro like a drunkard. You can't prepare for that. The destruction in that alone is going to be monumental, man. All right? Just from that alone, the earth reeling to and fro. Because it's not going to be just buildings and houses collapsing. There's going to be roads, highways, streets being totally unusable for fucking vehicles. You're going to have cars driving down the road after that. You're going to have infrastructure collapses. You're going to have systems collapse as far as plumbing, electric, all that's going to collapse. You're going to have bridges collapse. Right? So you might be in a place where you think you're safe. If anything, you just, pull the bridge up. If it's a bridge that goes up and down, or if it's not a stable bridge, a solid bridge. But both of those are going to collapse. So you can't say, oh, in times of trouble, we'll lift the bridge up so it won't be as accessible. Yeah, but if that bridge collapses completely, you're not leaving that motherfucker either. You're now set on a fucking prison. And that's why I love that movie, Batman: The Dark Knight Rises. It's my favorite movie. I think it's one of the most spiritual movies of all time, speaking as a man. Right? Because when Bane made his appearance and detonated all those bombs and collapsed all those bridges, no one could get inside the island and no one could leave. Right? But he also mandated that if anybody leaves, hey, we're detonating the bomb. Right? So it's a very spiritual movie when you consider the times that we're in now, how the poor are about to eat the rich, right? The rich are, setting up their bunkers, eating their dainties, not realizing or trying to prevent what's about to happen to them, right? The time that's coming has never been seen before, so you can't prepare for it. A bunker really ain't gonna help you. 1 Peter 4:14, if ye be reproached for the name of Mashiach, happy are ye, for the spirit of glory and of Yahweh resteth upon you. On their part he is evil spoken of, but on your part he is glorified. But let none of you suffer as a murderer, or as a thief, or as an evildoer, or as a busybody in other men's matters. Right? Don't suffer because you're a murderer or you're for things like that. I remember back in the day when I was a jit, I had an older cousin, gave up the ghost a couple of years ago, and I had an older cousin, he was an only child. But me and my homeboy would basically go to his house all the time. And since he was an only child, he was kind of spoiled. And he would have fucking snacks all day. Fucking goy-slop, but as children, we didn't know better. He had Pop-Tarts, Hot Pockets, you name it. Dunkaroos, all that fire shit. And we never had any of that. We were always hungry and stuff like that. So when we would go over his house, we would fucking steal his snacks. Or we would take his snacks without him knowing. And then when he gets mad and starts accusing people, we'll just say, oh, I don't know who took it, But then it came to a point where he started accusing us for taking the snacks, even though we didn't take it. So that made us say, fuck it, we're taking the snacks. If we're going to get accused for it, we might as well just do it anyway. Don't have that mindset with trials and tribulations you're going through now, man. Don't be like, oh, you know, I'm in this trial, I'm being afflicted, I'm going through these infirmities, I might as well eat swine. I might as well be an adulterer. Don't have that mindset. Don't suffer because of that, man. I understand your suffering is for a purpose. This is why Scripture says, rejoice when it happens to you, man. The glory of Yahweh Shem Yahushua is about to be revealed in you when he returns. When the Yahweh returns, it's going to be a glorious entrance for him. He's going to be glorified. He's going to have the glory. But we're going to have some glory too, man. Lord willing, we're part of that number. Our bodies are going to change, right? We're going to have spiritual bodies. We're never going to taste of death again, right? We're never going to have sickness. We're never going to be sad or, you know, depressed or miserable or going through situations where it seems like there's no exit from, right? We're going to be totally okay, man. But even if you're in a situation not okay now, know that it's temporary, man. And Yahushua was in the same situation too. Yahushua suffered too, right? That's the main character, right? So if Yahushua was born and just ruled and just had all power, right? Men wouldn't be able to relate to him. We wouldn't be able to relate, right? Because we've never experienced anything like that. But you read about how he came to help his people, right? He came to serve Yahweh, right? And you read about how his people turned on him, right? How his people didn't want anything to do with them. That's very relatable to our plot as well, right? When you read the book of Job, that's very relatable to us as well, man. All right? How you have something, but you end up losing everything. It was seemingly overnight, right? But if you continue reading Job, you see that he gets it back double, right? He gets it back, right? He doesn't stay in the bottom. Just like that one Drake song, started from the bottom, but now we're here. Yeah, we started from the bottom. We technically didn't start from the bottom. We, in a way, put ourselves in the bottom for going off, for not following our part of the covenant, right? For not following the law, statutes, and commandments. Right? But again, that's part of the plot. First Peter 4:15. But let none of you suffer as a murderer, or as a thief, or as an evildoer, or as a busybody in other men's matters, right? Hey, that's what the scripture says in Sirach or Ecclesiasticus, meddle not in many men's matters, right? Hey, because I struggle with this all the time, man. I'll hear about a problem or I'll see a problem. It has nothing to do with me. But then me trying to be proactive, I'll try to be like, oh, let me see if I can help. And then it becomes a burden on myself, man. So that's me meddling, man. If I just shut the fuck up and keep it moving, keep it pushing, I could probably avoid all of that, right? But that's the thing with this flesh, man. This flesh is a constant battle. It's not just you overcome it one time. You have to keep constantly overcoming the flesh, man. Right? You can't say, oh, this woman with a husband came on to me, but I turned it down, and then you're good. No. She might come even harder now because you turned it down, depending on how you did it, you know? So you have to constantly battle, man. But hey, that constant battle keeps you sharp, keeps you stronger. Right? Because if you go to the gym, or if you not only lift weights, if you work out, or exercise, or work out, you know, you have to fight off resistance. The more resistance you push off or work against, the stronger you become, right? And it's beautiful that it's called exercise, right? Because I've been meditating to myself about how there are many forms of prayer, right? Of course, you got communication with Yahweh Shem Yahushai directly, you know, in the form of prayer. But you also have praying as far as crying. In my opinion, crying is a form of prayer. Begging is a form of prayer, right? You know, complaining in a way is a form of prayer. But this is why I try not to do these things. You know, because unless you cry to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, unless you beg Yahweh Shem Yahushai, unless you complain to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, it's because, fuck I'm doing begging another man for something, or begging a woman for something, man. Or, you know, I try to teach that to my nieces and nephews, like, fuck you begging for? Because they beg me a lot, and it gets annoying. But it's like, in a way, you're technically kind of praying to me by begging, right? Crying. You know, you start crying, or as a jit, you're crying to an adult or a parent, trying to rectify a situation, excluding if you get hurt. That's a different story. But even in that way, if you get hurt, if you get physically hurt, just preaching the word. Preaching the word. Word. Well, what were you doing back there?
The window was smashed.
Yeah, the window smashed.
I was surprised it was smashed.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
You too. Yeah, so, you know, in a way, you're crying. You are, let's say a child scrapes his knee, or a child wants something, like a piece of candy or something. They start crying to an adult. You're basically praying to the adult to make the situation better. So, hey, so I say there are multiple forms of praying. But in my opinion, speaking as a man, exercise is a form of prayer too, right? Sweating is a form of prayer. Not maybe a form of prayer, but it's something spiritual. I would say it's basically conditioning the temple where the spirit resides, right? And you want a strong temple, right? You want, the ideal is to have a healthy temple, right? Because health is greater than wealth. But let me go. I want to see if I could go into the etymology of the word exercise, because it's been known to exorcise demons. So yeah, I could have crashed out right there. Fucking, there was this couple walking by, and right now I'm having vehicle situations. So I'm borrowing a work van. The work van had the back window completely smashed out, but there's tape covering it, like a black, not electrical tape, but like a black duct tape covering it. But the tape keeps falling off, so you can see right through it. And there's a couple walking by, and the dude lets go of his wife's hand, and he basically damn near puts his head in the back of the van. And I'm staring at him, like, I'm staring at them, like, what the fuck y'all about to do? Because if they would have touched it physically, it probably would have set me up. But of course, people are nosy, so he's probably looking, you know, and they looked homeless. So I didn't want that to be, because there are tools and things back there. But and that's the thing with niggas too. There are tools and valuable things back there, right? So I'm just staring. I don't want to, you know, overreact before a transgression was made. People are nosy. I understand that. So I'm just staring, and then he sees me staring, or she sees me staring from the get go. But he sees me. I never said it was my van. He sees me staring. He's like, oh, and he just stops what he's doing. He's like, oh, what you doing, brother? You know. And then he tries to make conversation, and then they take off. But the thing is, that's the thing with niggas. This van has tools in the back of it. Or the window busted out, back window busted out. So anybody can take it easily. And it's parked in a public place, right? The water y'all watching y'all try, nothing's ever happened to it. It's parked in a public place at night because I can't park in front of my house because of fucking HOA, fuck ass Babylon shit. But nonetheless, there's no logos on it or anything. Nonetheless, if it was like maybe fucking Jordans or TVs, jewelry are understandable. But if it was folly in the back of that van, that shit would have got broken into day one. Or everything taken out day one. But niggas don't steal tools. Right? I remember even my cousin had a truck, or has a truck, and he parked it in front of the house, but he accidentally left the doors unlocked one night. And these jack boys, they came through our neighborhood in the middle of the night one day. It was like 2 a.m. It was a big thing. And they just went house to house pulling on car handles to see what was open. And they would go in the car and take things, right? Whatever it be, wallets, purses, glove compartments, things like that. My cousin has a lot of tools in that truck. It's a big pickup truck. A lot of valuable parts in that as well, right? I remember he mentioned he had like a pool pump that was worth like $3,000, brand new in a box in the back of the truck that day. But they rummaged through the shit looking for valuables, or valuables in their opinion, but they're sitting on a gold mine, really. But what they take a pair of glasses. Right? Understandable, you know, other shit might be heavier to take. You probably just want things to put in your pocket and take off, but nigga, you steal a drill set. It's not about selling the drill set, but you could potentially make money off that drill set. Now you got tools to make money with, right? But our people's minds are set in folly, right? This nigga put his head in the back of the truck, seen tools and shit. He was like, I can't do nothing with this, and took off, all right? Fucked up shit. Our people are retarded, man. But it is what it is. Oh, Slocky, I want to get into that word exercise. Yeah. Hey. That would have been another trial in and of itself, man. That dude funny, bro. That dude funny. He's like, what are you doing? I was like, preaching the word. I was like, what are you doing? He said, oh, the back window's bust out, man. It's crazy. Like, nigga, shut up, bro. I know what time you want, bro. This shit not gonna work. And that's the... I can't stand a liar. It's not about the fact that you're lying. I remember saying this in the past. A liar lies for two reasons. One, they can't handle the consequences of the truth. Or two, they're trying to protect someone else's feelings. Right? A lot of times liars are cowards. And you know what? I'll say all the time, fuck it. What was that precept in Sirach? I want to say it's Sirach 11 or 17. Hold on, Slocky. I would have respected a nigga more if he was like, man, I'm just trying to get a quick come up, bro. You know, I would understand that. Cause I'm not mad at the fact. It's just, I'm not mad. It's just, come on, dog. Come on, dog. And that's, oh, let me get to something else too. before I get that. Proverbs 30:8. Remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me food, Slakia. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me, lest I be full and deny thee, and say, who is the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai? Or lest I be poor and steal and take the name of my power in vain. Right? And the prayer is to say, I don't want to be poor, but I don't want to be rich either. Because if I'm rich and my belly is full, you know, I'm not going to give credit or praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. I'm going to credit this money. You know, I'm going to give praises to this money. I'm going to sacrifice for this money. I'm going to do anything for this money. All right, this is what people do. But I don't want to be poor either. And then I'm put in a situation where I feel like I have to steal. Right? I have to lie. I have to cheat. All right? And that's the thing, man. He's probably in a situation where he feels like he has to do these things. But he doesn't, man. He's an able-bodied man with an able-bodied woman. Right? Probably on drugs. But they seem a little lofty. But you know what it is, you know? But that's the nature of the beast that we're in now, man. This shit is hell on all fronts. It's not just me going through shit, man. And it's not going to be me just be going through shit, man. Alright? This shit is about to collapse. This shit is about to crumble. It's already collapsing. It's an illusion that people don't want to get rid of yet. Right? It's like children believing in Santa Claus. When you tell a child Santa Claus ain't real, they don't want to give up. They don't want to give that up. They still want to believe. Fuck all that, man. If something's not true, it's not true. Right? You investing in a lie. You investing in the hope of a failed state, of a failed nation, of a failed corporation. Right? Get the fuck out of here. It's like hoping JCPenney is gonna make a comeback. JCPenney's still open. When I was a kid, JCPenney was a huge popular store, right? Even I think it's about 100 years old now. Even 50 years ago, 80 years ago, JCPenney was damn near like Walmart. It is today. But you can't put faith, your trust, your faith, your hope in a failed corporation like JCPenney. Things about to make a comeback. It's over for that place, man. There's a few people clinging on to hope that it'll stay alive, but you know. It's been time to pull the plug on that place. It's been time to pull the plug on this place, man. Babylon the Great is over with, man. It's only being kept on life support right now to fulfill prophecy, man. That's all it is, man. All right, let me go back to the book of Sirach. Salakia. The book of Sirach or Ecclesiasticus chapter 20 and verse 24. A lie is a foul blot in a man, yet it is continually in the mouth of the untaught. Right? If you don't know any better, if you're untaught, if you're stupid, that's what somebody that's untaught is. You're stupid. Right? You're going to continue in your lives. I know a perfect example of that. This precept in my head. One of my niece's close friends. You know, when my niece comes over, she comes over and they play together and shit like that. They're always arguing and shit. I don't know why they're friends in the first place, but nonetheless, that shit fucking lies 24/7, and it's annoying. It's like, how can I trust anything you say when you're accustomed to lying? But she is known to be a little on the slow end when it comes to school and grades, all right? And that's another thing too, why, this is how you know there can't be another generation after this, man. We have to be at the end. Because if you break a bone, if you break your arm, break a leg, whatever, and that body part is in a cast for, like, let's say 6 weeks, after that 6 weeks is up, the muscles in that body part are going to experience something called atrophy. They're going to shrink up because they haven't been used. Or they're going to become weaker. You're gonna become weak. You're gonna have to rebuild that muscle. You're gonna have to, retrain. Basically, it's gonna even feel weird to use that arm again for a while, right? Because you got accustomed to not using it. Now, it's the same for your brain. It's the same for your mind. Back when I was coming up, we had to really memorize phone numbers, write them down, have a black book of phone numbers, of contacts, to commit to memory, to write them down. We had Rolodexes where you had to flip through the Rolodex to find phone numbers and stuff like that. Now everybody got these smartphones, so-called smartphones, that does everything for you. We used to have to go to the library to research things, right? To read books, to access things, to even, and when I was a kid, growing up in New York, I had to go to the library to even rent fucking videotapes, the VHS tapes and DVDs. And I used to just rent fucking karate movies. I ain't gonna lie. But you rent them, you watch them, you rewind the shit, then you return it. But now all of this is done from a couple of taps on a button, right? So now your mind, you could just Google anything, AI, or you could AI anything, and it'll just give you the answer. It'll give you an answer. It won't give you the answer all the time. It'll give you an answer. It'll give you an answer in a way it wants society to think, to believe, to behave. Right? So you're not using your mind, your brain as much anymore. So what's gonna happen? It's gonna atrophy. It's gonna shrink. It's gonna be like, I don't need to fire these neurons. Hey, the computer's gonna do it for me, right? And this is happening to our younger generation. The what y'all about me? I was trying to came up at a time where I had to do that. Because if I was 10, 15 years younger, I'd have been coming up in the smartphone generation. Probably be dumb as a hide. People probably be dumb as shit. Even that, and then, so now, you got these children coming up with these devices. Children are bored. They want attention. But parents are tired because they worked all day. All right, so what do the parents do? Here, take this iPad, go play in the corner, leave me alone. Now what? It's frying these children's brains, man. Frying them. Where they won't be as quick. They won't know what to do unless they have the internet, the AI, the spirit, the demon, tell them what to do. Right? And that's why this Neuralink brain chip is gonna fuck a lot of people up. And it's also gonna be enticing. Right? Because you can market it as not only as a miracle, saying, oh, quadriplegics can move their appendages again, or people can walk again, people can talk again, things like that. But they're gonna advertise it, speaking as a man, as something that'll make you all knowing. Oh, with this brain chip installed in your head, you won't need a translator anymore. Languages could be instantly translated. You won't have to Google anything or look anything up. You could just instantly ask the AI, just think about the question or analyze it with your eyes. Shit it sounds crazy. It sounds like sci-fi, but this is the times that we're in, man. We're at the end of the world. We're at the end of an era, man. This place is a wrap for this place. Oh, Slacker, I still never got that exercise etymology. But let me read this again. Sirach or Ecclesiasticus 20 and 24. A lie is a foul blot in a man, yet it is continually in the mouth of the untaught. A thief is better than a man that is accustomed to lie, but they both shall have destruction to heritage. The disposition of a liar is dishonorable, and his shame is ever with him. Right? That man's disposition, that man's countenance. He seemed ashamed But at the same time, he did it. This is why he tried to lie and get his way out of it. Because I knew what he was trying to do. I knew what he was looking for. Right? I said, what are you doing? He said, oh, the back window's busted out, man. Oh, it's crazy. Like, you never seen a broken window before, man? Fuck out of here. But I knew what time it was. And I'm staring directly. The van is probably like 2 o'clock from me, so I can see it right there. It's probably only like 30 feet away. I can see it right there. I'm staring. I'm just watching. I just wanted to see what he did. So he had to lie because he's accustomed to lying, right? But the Wadi al Shai, that the truth steers us far from that. But the word exercise, according to Edamon Online, condition of being in active operation, practice for the sake of training. From Old French exercise, execution of power, physical or spiritual exercise. From the Latin exercitium, training, physical exercise. Exercise is really, I love that term, execution of power, right? Or execution of what you're capable of, right? Also keep busy, keep at work, oversee, engage busily, train, exercise, practice, follow, carry into effect, disturb, disquiet, right? Because when you exercise demons, you're disturbing them, you're disquieting them, man. Which is a form of prayer. You exercise demons, it's cleaning out the temple, right? Cleaning out your temple, which is your body. Physical exercise and spiritual exercise go hand in hand, in my opinion. But physical exercise is like remodeling the temple. It's not only into something that you seem fit, but something that operates better, functions better, right? Sweating, exercising, crying, begging. All these are a form of prayer, in my opinion, speaking as a man, right? You gotta be mindful of that. You out here begging. Let's say somebody is next to you eating fries, and then let me get a fry. Can I have a French fry? Like, no. Please, come on, please, don't do anything. Don't be like that, man. Don't be like that. Have some pride, man. That's in the scriptures too. A man was talking about he was too proud to beg. Have some sort of pride, man. Have an understanding of who you are, what you are. Don't be reduced to a beggar. Don't be reduced to begging, right? The fuck out of here. A man's life that's dependent. Salaki, let me see if I can find that real quick in the book of Sirach. It's like it's not considered a life at all. Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus chapter 40 and verse 28. My son, lead not a beggar's life, for it is better to die than to beg. A scripture says how death is better than a life of continual sickness. And so if you get it, begging is a form of is a sickness as well, man. My son, lead not a beggar's life, for it is better to die than to beg. And this is to talk about begging another man. And really, truthfully, you really shouldn't be begging Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai either. You can ask, right? Because what the Lord does is what the Lord does. But you can't force his hand. And that's what a lot of beggars tend to do. They're trying to force your hand by, if you just answer their request, answer their prayer, that they'll shut the fuck up. And that's what another thing that gets me too when people beg. It's like, here, just shut the fuck up, take this shit. It's like it's disgusting, right? So in a way, I want to retract what I said earlier. Don't even beg Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Ask. You can ask several times, which, if you think about it, in a way, is begging. But don't be like, don't beg and plead. Oh, please, get out of here, bro. But if you are to beg anyone, begging Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is the only one to beg, right? Don't beg no man walking this earth, whether it be the adult or child, because you got some adults now, some parents now, begging their children, oh, please be quiet, Timothy. I'll give you ice cream when you get home. Shut the fuck up. Now he got power over you. Now the child got power over you because you begged the child. They got you in a position. They got you in a straight. You done gave your power away, right? You turn that child into a god by begging, by praying to that child, right? You gave that God power, right? Really, I'm gonna leave that one alone. But hey, don't beg your children. But that really comes from, it's mostly, when you see it happen, it's mostly Edomites. It's really mostly Babylonians. I ain't gonna say just Edomites. It's really a Western sickness that parents have. They're westernized. Scripture says, spare the rod, spoil the child. And a lot of Babylonians believe don't use the rod against your child. The fuck out of here, man. That's not what the scripture says, right? This is why you have a nation of not only spoiled children, but spoiled adults. Because as you teach a child, train child in the way they should go, and when they're older, they're not support thereof. Paraphrasing. You're training your child, and they're going to act the same as an adult. This is why a lot of adults crash out. They have no emotional stability, right? They're used to throwing temper tantrums as children, getting their way. They're going to do the same shit as an adult. Fuck all of that, man. Throw a tantrum if you want to. I don't have any children, but if I did, my child threw a temper tantrum, he's getting his ass whooped. She's getting her ass whooped. All right? I'm not raising bitch ass niggas in my house. Right? I'm not dealing with that, man. I'm not dealing with spoiled princesses, right? Lord willing, you know, I'm ever in a situation where I'm raising children, that's a blessing in and of itself. All right, but it's a blessing you have to be in your P's and Q's about, because one thing could basically change the child's trajectory. One event, one thing, right? So you got to nip things in the bud before they escalate. And by that is setting order in your house, understanding as the man you are the head of the house. The woman is the head of the children, right? But the man, the Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, is the ultimate head of the house. But basically, the wife and the children have to look at you as supreme leader of that house. Whatever you say goes, right? There's no begging. There's no. I mean, they could beg you if they want, but you should really train your children to be like, hey, stop that begging shit, man. It's not good to beg. You know, that's something I gotta work on too, because when I get begged, I was like, here, just take it, just leave me the fuck alone. But that's training them to beg other people in the future, so they can see results from their begging too. All right, but hey, begging puts you in a position of slavery, because that's what the scripture says: the borrower is servant to the lender. Hey, you start begging for something, that's all a person got to do is, all right, I'll give you this, but I want this in return. You got to do this in return. So now you might be out here committing abominations now because, or saying that you're willing to commit abominations because you started begging. You got to nip that shit in the bud. Sirach chapter 40, or Ecclesiasticus chapter 40, verse 28. My son, lead not a beggar's life, for it is better Slaki, for better it is to die than to beg. The life of him that dependeth on another man's table is not to be counted for a life. For he polluteth himself with other men's meat. But a wise man well nurtured will beware thereof. Begging is sweet in the mouth of the shameless, but in his belly there shall burn a fire. Right? Motherfuckers that beg are shameless motherfuckers, right? You gotta have no shame to be a beggar. You know, on my way to the plantation, on my way to work, often, you know, there's a dude standing on the corner or in the intersection, in the middle of the lanes that I gotta turn onto, and he has a sign out. He's always begging, but the dude looks maybe 45, 50 years old, healthy body. It's like, damn, nigga, have you no shame to beg? Even the grocery store in front of my house or near my house, Publix, right? Oftentimes, usually during the weekends, you got people standing in front of Publix. And most of the time it's athletes saying, oh, you got any spare change? Or you got $1 to help support our sport team? Like, nigga, like, why are you even playing for a team you gotta beg to get finances from? They should be paying you, or, you know, because you're working for that team, for that squad, right? You're putting in the work, you're exercising, right? When they might have a game, they sell tickets to the game, you're not getting a penny of that. So why the fuck are you begging for money? Oh, we need new shoes for our game. Stop playing for that fucking team, or stop playing at all, because it is a distraction. You think you're going to the NBA? The fuck out of here. It's not about talent that gets you to the NBA. It's about who you know at the end of the day. Because there are thousands of people in Babylon on this earth, probably damn near millions, that are good enough to go to the NBA, but they don't have the right connections. They don't have the right agents to cross over to that place, or they're not making the right sacrifices. You know, literally and spiritually. There are things people sacrifice to get where they're at in the league, to get that level of so-called stardom, to get that level of so-called financial success. And it's going to cost you something. It's not just going to cost you time and energy and exercise. No, and training. It's going to cost you something. A lot of times, you look into the backstories of these athletes, these stars, on their road to success. You hear of a tragedy, them losing a loved one, a close relative, a close friend, right? And that loved one will die in a freak accident, will die before their time, things of that nature. So you hear that and you're like, how is it all of them that experience this, man? How is it, right? Because one example is that nigga Chris Paul. Chris Paul is a former NBA player. He played for like maybe damn near 15 years, right? But one of the backstories or the stories about him, I don't remember the particulars, but I remember hearing the stories like, the fuck out of here. That shit can't be not only not real, but it's like that shit seems scripted. I remember one of the stories about him. I think he was in college or high school, and he was playing a basketball game, or the day before his basketball game, his grandmother died. His grandmother was like 63 or some shit like that. And the next day at his game, he scored 63 points to memorialize her. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Shit don't happen like that, bro. Shit don't happen like that. Right? But that's the script to explain the sacrifice they made to get into that level of stardom, right? But that's what they do, man. This is what they do. They tell you, well, it's hard work that gets you here, but it's not. It's really connections. It's really sacrifices, right? You gotta be willing to basically sell your soul to sit with the devil. But again, in a way, that's a form of begging too. Oh, I'll do anything to Eat crumbs off the master's table. All right? Give me your grandmother. Give me your best friend. Give me your firstborn. All right, yeah, here. Now you have this level of success, but you're tormented by demons. All right? 24/7. These niggas ain't truly happy, right? When you're happy, you don't have to show that you're happy. People will automatically know it. Like this nigga Jay-Z. You see a picture of Jay-Z, if he's standing with like other celebrities, they don't pose for the camera like when people pose for the camera pictures. He stages it to where they're like in mid-conversation and they're all laughing. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, bro. There's a video of him being like, all right, we're gonna take this picture, we're all just gonna be laughing to look like we're all laughing. They start fake laughing, take the picture, and then they stop. Like, to make it seem like they're happy. They're not fucking happy, bro. They don't even got it like they say they got it. It's just an illusion to keep our minds in a state of, I want that too. If they could do it, I could do it. Whatever they did, I'm willing to do. Get the fuck out of here. But, just like we read in Sirach 40, the life of Sirach 40 and 29, the life of him that dependeth on another man's table is not to be counted for a life. You're depending on another man's table for food, for sustenance, right? It's not to be counted for a life. Even outside of celebrity, of stardom, right? The regular average Babylonian, you depend on another man's table for food, right? You depend on supermarkets to eat. You depend on grocery stores to get food. If grocery stores and supermarkets and restaurants all closed simultaneously, how would you eat, right? Very few of us grow our own food. Very, 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 very few of us have farm animals, right? Very, very few of us have, not stocks, what's that word? Slakia. Very few of us have that. So we do depend on another man's table for food. This is not to be counted for a life, man. This is fucking captivity. Right? If you go to the grocery store, they don't have a certain item in stock, you're not getting that item. And it's not to be counted for life because 95% of the food in grocery stores is trash. Consider it how I remember I went to some sort of flea market in another country, in Colombia. It wasn't just for physical items. They had a butcher shop and a lot of not a farmer's market, but farmer stalls in there selling fruits. My mom went to one of them, I got grapes, best grapes I ever had. They had the seeds in them and everything. And I asked the guy, I was like, you have any cherries? He's like, no, cherries is out of season. If you're getting cherries now, it's not natural. He said that all in Spanish, but I understood what he said. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. But you go to the grocery store, grapes and cherries, always in fucking stock. How you have cherries 24/7 or 365? How's that possible? Right? Plants have a season, right? I walked by the butcher's stall, the butcher's market in that flea market, and I couldn't bear the stench. I was like, God damn. And then it stink, but it had this weird smell. I was like, oh man, this is, I can't stay over here. So I had to walk by it fast. But that's the smell of deceased flesh. That's the smell of carcasses, right? You go by to the meat section in your grocery store, you don't have that scent. You don't smell that. And the butcher shop is usually a window, or the butcher section is usually a window in the back where they're carving up the meat before they wrap it in plastic. So you should have a whiff of that scent walking by it. but you don't smell it. You go by to the meat section every day of the week, or let's say twice a week, every week of the year. The meat always looks exactly the same. Yeah, the marbling might be different in different cuts, but it's like, how's the consistency of this quality of meat the same all year long? None of the cattle, none of the goats, none of the cows ever run or they're never slim. They're always the same. They're always the same exact color, always the same exact thickness. You know, it's like, how is this possible? This shit ain't food, man. There's no possible way, bro. There's no possible way you have a nation of over 300 million people. I'll say, let's be conservative. Let's say a nation of 250 million people that eat meat. But you really have a nation of 300 million people that eat fruit, vegetables, and meat, you know. But there's never a shortage. There's never like, there's no carrots. You know, carrots had a bad season. You know, or in this region of Babylon, oranges didn't really blossom like that. We didn't produce a lot of oranges. There's always orange juice. There's always oranges. There's always chicken. There's always eggs. There's always beef. There will always be pork. Like, how do you never run out of these things, man? How is that possible? Because we're depending on another man's table. Right? This is not to be counted for life. This is not to be counted for food. But I'm going to wrap it up with that. Lord willing, this does was edifying to the flock of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Again, I like to give all praises, all honor, all glory to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakal Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Milton that rule well. And I want to say peace and salutations to the elect of the nation of Israel. To you all, I say Shalom and a Bog Babal. Kwam Yasharallah, man.